also known as Kid Omega, one who will be a bigger deal. Warriors, it's the 90s, and you know, it's or is it even the 90s yet? It's right straight up 90.
Hi, I'm Glenn Simpson, and I've collected comics for over 40 years, and I'm showing off my collection one box at a time. Today we're looking at box number 115. We're continuing our way through things that are new. We're going to have new Titans, new Warriors, and new X-Men, and a little bit of new Universal, and it's going to be a good time. So thank you for being here. Please like and comment and subscribe. Those are good things for the channel. If there's anything inside any of these packs you'd like to see me show the whole thing, let me know. I'd be happy to do that. But hey, let's get started here on Glenn Simpson's Comics.
Alright, so we start with New Titans. So this is the series that was previously New Teen Titans, the second New Teen Titans. And at some point they changed the name they changed it at issue 50 for some reason. And during the run of New Titans, we had Zero Hour come along, which means they had their zero issue. So the zero issue for New Titans is the first thing we kind of see here, even though it's actually more towards the end of the series. And so we've got that. That's what we're looking at here. But once we get past that, we go to issue 50, which begins the Who is Wonder Girl. So Wonder Woman, after the Crisis on Infinite Earths had been rebooted, and in a move that I find just utterly dumb, they said, oh, well, she is just now arriving in, man's world. She wasn't, so she's no longer a contemporary of Superman and Batman and whatnot. They've been around for a while, but now she's just now arriving. Which begins the question, well then how did Donna Troy, Wonder Girl, come along if Wonder Woman hasn't existed up to this point? So this seeks to somewhat explain all that. We have a return of George Perez to the series to assist with this bit of continuity heavy lifting. And we begin the 4-part. It actually says, it says part 1 of 4, but it takes longer than 4 to get it done. So this is the beginning of somewhat the ongoing confusion over Donna Troy's origins. But that's issue 50. We've got issue 52 right there. We find out that the Titans of mythology had created superpowered individuals that they planned to use to, spread the word about who they were. And Donna is one of them, but another one of them is kind of bad, and so forth and so on. 53, part 4 of 5. And so then it ends, and Donna officially becomes Troya as a part of that. Then we have here in 56, we've got a kind of a post-crisis version of the Titans history, because with a few changes, they updated Golden Eagle's costume. They really kind of wanted Barbara Gordon to be the first Batgirl, so the original Batgirl becomes Flamebird. And some things like that. Mal Duncan gets a different costume, and this is a different, in the original Titans storyline, a couple of the Teen Titans went back in time and brought back Gnark, the cave boy, and so this is kind of a new version of that story. So that's issue 56. 57, we have the team continuing to go up against Wildebeest there. and through 60 now. So now we are in the lonely place of dying. We are reviewing. We're in this kind of situation where Nightwing has, Dick Grayson became Nightwing a while back, and Jason Todd has recently died, and really Nightwing has been a Titans character for most of this period. Like you very rarely saw him interacting with the Batman side of things. So this is kind of bringing it all together a little bit, and this is will lead to Tim Drake becoming the new Robin. So issue 60. This was the storyline was bouncing back and forth with the Batman books. With Batman issue 61. This is all George Perez, superlative artistry, disco Nightwing. Right there. As always, George depicts everything great, but his designs sometimes were a little wonky. 61. So then we're out of that. We're into 64. The team is hanging out with Deathstroke in the ongoing efforts to make Deathstroke, who had previously been a horrible villain, to redeem him a little bit. 65, and we get into some Tim Drake and Nightwing hanging out. We get to 68. Oh no, is it the Joker? No, it's not the Joker. I'll just go ahead and tell you that. And 69, dude. It's the Royal Flush Gang. The Gambler is taking advantage, because the Gambler was like an Earth 2 villain, so taking advantage of the new merged world they're in. 72. Got some Titans dying. Things like that. They will probably get better. 73. More fighting with the wildebeests. We have this Phantasm character appears for the first time. Can't believe this isn't a big boy book. It's the first appearance of Phantasm, right? 76. We have these wildebeests attacking. Somewhere along the line, we picked up Pantha. R.I.P. There. 77. So Cyborg gets damaged terribly, badly. Gets some brain damage. He winds up in Russia, and the Red Star, the Russian teen superhero contemporary with Nightwing and them, they use their technology to try to fix him, and he kind of just becomes a bit of a RoboCop, not really having his full sense of wits about him. She's 77. 84. We've got Phantasm. We've got Raven getting all trigoned. There. 85. So they call them the Teen Titans here. They're going to change that and call them the Team, T-E-A-M, Titans after a while. And they are a bit like Terminator. They are from the future. They come back to the present to stop something bad from happening. That's 85. Through 88. We get an actual... So most of the wildebeests were, dudes in costumes, but they were apparently experimenting to create a biological, wildebeest warrior thing. And so baby wildebeest joins the team. Pantha is his mother figure. Starfire gets a new suit, or does she? Issue 88. Oh, Nightwing also got a new suit somewhere along the way. Right there. 89. Kind of changing up the team a little bit. Getting some new things going on. Right there. 96. So we've got Phil Jiménez, who at this point is a fairly young artist, and he's well known for his George Perez influenced art, and he is the artist on this multi-part storyline that brings back Red Star that we saw earlier, and some others. 97. We've got Changeling with his party in the back. 97 through 100. So Tom Grummett has been doing the artwork, and there's a point when Starfire and Nightwing are going to get married, and Raven loses her mind and breaks it all up. And it's at that point that artist Bill Jaska comes on, and not a fan of Bill Jaska. I'll remind you of what his art looks like in a second. But whereas we've always sort of had this crisp, clean, generally speaking, artwork on Titans books, needless to say, they don't get married. We kind of go to this darker, less detailed look to the artwork. I can only guess sales were dropping, and so they needed to get somebody with a lower page rate. I don't know. Anyway, 101 right there. 104 got Cyborg kind of taking the next step in his evolution, recovering from his damaged situation. 105, so Speedy has also evolved to become Arsenal, and he's ditched his Speedy outfit and his focus just on arrows, and now he's got all kinds of weapons, and he's gritty, and he's ready for the 90s. That's issue 105. We jump all the way to 112. I think Starfire is, in addition to being mostly naked, is kind of possessed with the evil spirit that has been possessing Raven as well. If I remember correctly, something like that. Got 113. We'll focus on Dick Grayson and Nightwing. Just kind of reviewing his history. I don't know if this was a fill-in or what the deal was there. Look, Forever Evil. A completely different Forever Evil. What is that? 119. So Mirage is one of those team Titans, and she's on the main team because in her future she and Nightwing are a thing, and turns out her Nightwing comes back to the present and becomes Deathwing because he's kind of messed up. He's not right in the head. So there you go. Alright, then we've got 120. So we're continuing the storyline of Dark Raven possessing everybody and turning them against the Titans. We've even got Supergirl. That would be the Matrix Supergirl, the artificial being who, in fact, I don't even think she's merged with Linda Danvers at this point. She's just the artificial being. Right there at 120. 125. So this was a multi-part crossover, The Siege of Zisharam, Outer Space. Green Lantern, Kyle Rayner, has joined the New Titans because he's dating Donna Troy, who lost her powers, so she became a Dark Star. Damage, who's I think probably his series has ended by now, has joined the team. We've got Supergirl. So the storyline ran through New Titans and Dark Stars and Green Lantern at the very least, and had this, a connecting cover situation. We've got 128 beginning the meltdown, which was kind of reaching the end of. They pretty much given up on New Titans basically, but this new writer on it, and said, okay, do your best. So let's issue 126, more Speedy Arsenal stuff. And then 130, we get the end of the series. We've got Green Lantern. We've got the Terra from the Team Titans. We've got Starfire. We've got Donna Troy as Dark Star. We've got Black Star. We've got Cyborg and his Technus abilities. We've got Changeling with his still got a party in the back. Arsenal. This guy was named Minion. He was a little blue alien guy who could get into a big, armored suit to do things. And I don't think we ever saw him again. But that was the end of New Titans. Along the way, they had annuals. Of course, the first, the earlier annuals were New Teen Titans annual. So their annual started with issue 5. We've got Perez on inks on this cover. Chris Wozniak doing the art. And then issue 7, we get a bit more of the background on the Team Titans. Again, they're still calling them Teen Titans here, but they're going to get their own book called Team. And they are from the future, but also there's the whole Armageddon 2001 storyline that's going on, which is about this guy Wave Rider from the future who has come back to the present to figure out who's going to be this horrible dictator in his future. So you kind of got these two similar storylines going on. Issue 7, issue 8, Titans with Phil Jiménez art, involved in the Eclipso, the Darkness Within. Eclipso is this big magical being who, when he asserts himself, can turn people against each other, that kind of thing. Eclipses the heroes. And issue 11, oddly enough, towards the end of the series, we get a Year 1 annual from the New Titans. All the Year 1 annuals told early tales. Hey, look, Greg Land. Is this Land? Yeah. Greg Land before the tracing. There you go. If you ever wondered what that looked like. Alright, and so that officially gets us out of Titans world until we get to, Tales of the Teen Titans and all that. Or until we get to Teen Titans also. So Newuniversal was, so in the 80s, you had the New Universe, which was a line of books that were attempting to just basically create a whole new, storytelling arena for Marvel. Some people even say it was intended to replace the main Marvel one. I don't know that anybody really thought that was going to happen. And it didn't really, take off, and it died after a few years. So Warren Ellis, years and years and years later, comes back, and he just does kind of his own take on it. And there's only a few issues of things related to it, so I'm wondering if this didn't take off very well. New Universal issue 1 through issue 6, right there. And then there's a one-shot New Universal Conqueror there, and New Universal 1959. It's kind of neat looking. And New Universal Shockfront featuring the Justice character. Issue 1 and issue 2. I guess that would be the Spitfire and the Troubleshooters, or just Spitfire character. There. Alright, then that gets us into New Warriors. So, New Warriors, it's the 90s, and, you know, it's or is it even the 90s yet? It's right straight up 90. And, you know, we are taking some of Marvel's younger heroes in a bit of a Teen Titans kind of thing, you know, putting them together, making a team, and telling stories with them as they, you know, become friends and have that more of a family relationship. So, issue 1, right here. This is also a lot of early Mark Bagley artwork, if I'm remembering correctly. Yes, Mark Bagley. Issue 1 through issue 4. Here. Issue 5 through issue 12. Little time travel thing going on there. Where would comics be without time travel stories? Issue 13. Especially where would the X-Men be? We got a lot of future X-Men here. Where would the X-Men be without time travel stories? Through 20. There. 21. Looks like Thrasher got himself a new team. Got those cool 90s glasses. At some point, Nova gets his regular old costume back, basically. Darkhawk is hanging out with them. Rage, who was like a 14-year-old boy who was transformed into a full-grown, muscle-bound man. Uh, 25. Special die-cut cover. I think it's right in there, if I feel it. 28. We've got Turbo, who is a derivative of a character. What was he called? Torpedo. Who had, I believe he came out of the ROM book, which of course they couldn't really show ROM because they didn't still have the rights to ROM, but they could use the characters and concepts that were created around ROM. So this was interesting. There were two characters who shared the costume and took turns, basically, for a while. 29. There for some elementals. We've got 36. So Marvel Boy has lashed out at his father, who was abusive to him with his powers, and I can't remember if he killed him or just hurt him, but he had to go to prison for a while because he's a good guy, to do the right thing, as it were. 36, 37. Got some more rage. We got Derek Robertson coming on, doing the art. Right there. 44, a story focusing on Namorita. And they decided, because most of the Atlanteans are blue, and so they decided to do to turn her blue and make her a little less of a clone of Namor. And I'm not sure what the story is behind this photo cover, but they actually did a photographic cover for that issue. There. Alright, we got a crossover with X-Force, which is also the former New Mutants, so they're kind of youngish as well. Child's Play storyline jump back and forth between the two series. It's issue 45 of New Warriors by 52. Kind of return of one of the guys from that team from the early issue. There. '53. Get more of that fight. Issue 60. So we've got an older, another Xenadarian Nova warrior that comes to Earth and wants to take Richard Rider's helmet back or whatever, take his power back, and stuff happens. This has actually got gold ink on there. Patrick Zurcher doing the art. Um, 61. So our team, we've got Alex Power, the oldest of the Power Pack, has joined, and he's doing a thing where he can just, the rest of the group can give him all of their powers. All of the Power Pack kids can. So he's got all of their powers at once, and they are running into, I don't know if they're specifically which it's part of the clone, Spider-Man clone thing. I think Scarlet Spider is going to wind up joining. Yep. And so here we are with the Scarlet Spider. We got the kids. Got the kids fighting against each other, man. Even though he's probably much older than they are. Why are you hanging out with those kids? We've got Blue Namorita having returned. What is this? This is 64. She's back and she's out for blood. Through 72. Turbo getting all up in some business with the Avengers at the time. '73. Got some more, looks like a kind of a Turbo solo thing going on. Through 75, we come to the end of New Warriors Volume 1. There we go. So then they had some annuals. We have Annual 1, Kings of Pain. It's a kind of a crossover with some X-Men stuff, I believe. That's the Annual 1. on through issue 4. Got another focus on that Psionex. Man, they were pushing it, man. They were trying to get people to like it. Please love us. Please love Psionex. No, we will not love Psionex. Alright, then there came a day when they would try it again. And there was a Wizard number 0 issue. And they once again tried to give Nova a new design. We still got Turbo, and we have Aegis, who has this chest plate that gives him some powers, and Namorita's gotten de-bluified and speedballs around. It's issue 0. And the series starts. This kid is he kind of jumps around, bounces around. He starts off in a story about he's a mutant, and the X-Men legacy virus is killing him. And I think the original story was just supposed to be a sad story about a kid catching a virus and dying, but somebody picked up on it and decided to keep him around, and make him a superhero. So there you go, issue 1 through issue 5. We got our team this time going up against the kids of Generation X, who are being taught by the White Queen, the White Queen, and Banshee as an alternative to the X-Men. Issue 5. Issue 6. Once again, we get rid of the alternate Nova costume. Nobody likes alternate Nova costumes. We want to stick with the original there, or something closer to. So there you go, issue 6. And then this one ends at issue 10. I believe Hercules comes looking for that magic item, knows who it belongs to. Jamal Eagle doing art on there. So then a few years later, they bring it back again, and we've got Scotty Young doing art, Jeb Wells doing the writing. Our team is the thing this time is that they are reality show. They've got their own reality show, so they've got cameras following around everywhere. There's a gag that this huge guy is named Microbe because he controls microbes. And we've got, I believe if I remember correctly, this blue Atlantean chick who keeps claiming she's not Namorita, but everybody pretty sure she is. So that's issue 1 through issue 6. There you go. So then, after this series ends, this team is depicted as pursuing Nitro, the Exploding Man, as he has committed a crime, and he goes into like a stadium and uses his explosive powers and blows up and kills a bunch of people, including several of the New Warriors, although most of them probably, come back. But and that is what kicks off the original Civil War. The Civil War, not the original Civil War, but the Marvel Civil War, requiring that superheroes be registered to make sure that everybody's trained and that kind of thing. Then simultaneously, you have the situation with the House of M over in the X-Men, and the Scarlet Witch at the end of that, using her magical powers to remove the powers of mutants all over the world. So that brings us to the next New Warriors series, which is based around depowered mutants who are trying to take back the name because, you know, everybody's, you know, saying, you know, because the New Warriors, everybody knows the New Warriors killed a bunch, you know, they believe that it was the, you know, based on the actions of the original New Warriors that people were killed. So they're taking back the name. It's depowered mutants using, you know, devices and equipment to give themselves powers, or, you know, fake it. Written by Kevin Graveau, who is an interesting individual. He's written a lot for movies and things, and if you're familiar with the Underworld movie series, in the first movie, he's the big black werewolf. So he did some writing on that as well. So anyway, issue 1 through issue 8. I found that I had a hard time kind of keeping track of who was who. Of course, this does have Night Thrasher, and who's pulling these people together, and I found it hard to keep track of who used to be who, kind of thing. But that's issue 8. Issue 9. Like, I believe the guy who used to be kind of a chicken boy, Beak, you know, becomes a normal human, and he uses this winged armored suit, which is way different from kind of what you're, you know, from what you're used to with him. Issue 9 through issue 16. At some point, there's more time travel shenanigans. Issue 17. They go to a future where Tony Stark's technology is being used to dominate the world. Through 20. And that's the end of that series. And then we get to the most recent New Warrior series, which I misspoke. That's the character that you know, everybody keeps saying she must be Namorita, but she keeps denying it. Sorry about that. We've got this version of Scarlet Spider, who is the character formerly known as Kane, and we've got some new people. We've got Speedball, who at first seems like he's totally recovered from his experiences with the whole Civil War thing. I think we do get some hints that he's not. And like I say, we get some new characters. Kind of just trying to bring the concept back, have some fun with it. Issue 1 through issue 8. Right there. Everybody posing. Bunch of posers. Issue 9. Right there. Through issue 12. Thus bringing, that's the final, that's the last time we've had a New Warriors. Maybe we'll get another one. Alright, then we have New Wave. From Eclipse Comics. If you've seen some of my other videos, I'm just like, oh cool, has that got superheroes in it? I want it. So this was, they were half as long, but they were bi-weekly. And it was just a world with, you know, they had their Superman and some things like that. And this team forms to fight evil in all its forms. Issue 1 through issue 4. Issue 5. We're still having the origin at this point. Through issue 8. It's the return of the Heap. The Heap was actually the very first, I think he was in public domain at this point, the very first sort of swamp thing, man thing, you know, plant-based critter. And it was available, I think, like I say, in public domain, whatever. So they decided to use him. Issue 9. They quit the bi-weekly thing. Make it look like, oh, this is a great thing, isn't it? And go to, oh, we go from 50 cents to $1.50. So yeah, you know, we're doing what you got to do. Issue 9 through issue 13. End of that series there. Alright, then that brings us to New X-Men. So, going all the way back, 1960s, the X-Men series launches. It runs for right somewhere around 100 issue 130 something. It had been calling itself Uncanny X-Men on the cover for a while, but it officially became Uncanny X-Men around issue 130 something. So then in the 90s, in somewhere around 92 or so, they launch another X-Men book, just adjectiveless X-Men, and that runs for 113 issues, and then Grant Morrison comes on, and he decides that, well, I don't know who decided, but it was decided that the title needed to change, and it changed to New X-Men. And sidebar, I've seen enough series change, either reboot for the new writer, the big new writer that's coming on, that's got a lot of, following. I'm starting to think that that's something writers want, is they want to have a title change or a numbering change or whatever. They just picked up the numbering. Anyway, that's a little editorializing. I don't know if that's accurate or not. So at 114, we have this E is for Extinction series. We've got them all over mostly to kind of, the leather outfits that would wind up somewhat inspiring the movies, or the movies would inspire this. It's 2001, so I guess the movies inspired this. We got Frank Quitely on art, and it is what it is. A lot of concepts that would get used on down and through, further down would get initiated here. So that's 114. 115 is a big deal because, if I remember correctly, yes, it is the first appearance of Negasonic Teenage Warhead, who would go on to be adapted to appear in the Deadpool movies. So, that may not be a big appearance here, but she's in there. So, got issue 115. It's also the destruction of Genosha, for those keeping track of the status of Genosha. 116, Frank Quitely, White Queen. There you go. 120, we've had, at some point we've brought back Jean Grey. I can't remember if Grant Morrison brought back Jean Grey or if she was already back. Well, I'm sorry. Wait, no. Yes, of course, we already had her back. We had her back from the whole X Factor thing. But issue 120. 121. So somewhere in here, we've also gotten the first appearance of Cassandra Nova, who was the twin sister of Charles Xavier, whom he killed in the womb. Hey, Grant Morrison, I may have said he at some point. Of course, Grant Morrison prefers to be they. And so, early appearance. Of course, this is a Nuff Said issue where there is no dialogue at all. Thing they did for a month there. We've got issue 124. Oh, what's his name? It's a character. He's Chinese. He's got some, a sun living in his brain. There's two of them. There you go. One of the things that Morrison really did was they initiated that sense that there are just a ton of mutants out there, that there's just mutants cropping up, in every neighborhood, and which reinforces the whole people, the fear and hatred of mutants a little better than just these, sort of people that are very rare. He introduces Beak. And a lot of the mutants are ugly, and that's doesn't help. Introduces Beak, who we mentioned earlier as having loses his powers later. He's one of those unfortunate mutants that didn't get any cool powers. He's just fugly. And 128. This may be, we got Ethan Van Sciver coming on to do art, which was a delightful, and Igor Cordy. I think Cordy is still kind of in that Frank Quitely school of art, but getting at least the covers, having kind of a level of a crisper detail to them. I remember being very refreshing at the time. 129, we have Fantomex, who is another weird character that was created at this time by Morrison. 129, 132. They have this whole storyline where the group fights Magneto again. I don't know if this is it, but this is just what it makes me think of. And because we got Phil Jiménez on art, which is great, because that does, again, more detailed artwork. And it's old school evil Magneto, and then they have to try to roll that back because they were like, well, wait, no, we've established that Magneto isn't that crazed nut job that you're depicting him as. But I don't think anybody wanted to tell Morrison what they couldn't do. 133, so is a big boy book because it is the first appearance of Dust, who is
Muslim
and wears the hijab, and but she's a mutant and she has the power to turn into sand and dust. Then 134 is the first appearance of Quentin Quire, also known as Kid Omega, who will be a bigger deal later. You may have seen his pink, cute pink mohawk that he gets later. He's sort of depicted more normally here, and he sort of leads a rebellion amongst the school there that they're into. But this is just the cover, it's just a beauty shot of Phoenix. But then, yes, 135, Riot at Xavier's. We've got the group, we've got Frank Quitely back, and Quire is going to lead that rebellion at the school. Interestingly, I found as I was going through this beforehand, so Jumbo Carnation is a mutant who gets beat up, and it sparks, I think, some of what happens here. And Jumbo Carnation will be brought back, and he is the one. He's like a mutant costume designer, and he is the one that designs all of the costumes for the Hellfire Ball years and years and years later. He is known for, they bring him back and he's appearing in the books there. So that was a pretty good throwback to this much older storyline. Issue 135. 140. Again, we've got, I remember being very excited with Phil Jiménez coming on, because it just, I really prefer his artwork to people like Quietly. There we go. 141. We have Bishop doing his best Terminator impression. There. 144. We've got Chris Bacalo and Tim Townsend coming on. Okay. Not horrible. There. Continues in 145. And 149. Planet X, Part 4. Jimenez back. Alright, then issue 150. I assume that the reason I don't have this broken out is that this is another death of Jean Grey, if I remember correctly. And I believe, no, Morrison continues for a bit, but Phil Jiménez, right there. We get 151. Some time travel stuff with the X-Men. Mark Silvestri on art, classic X-Men artist. Through 156. Bright New Morning. So I believe, this is when we see Cyclops and, or at least they can more outwardly be together with the White Queen. And so that is the final issue of New X-Men. The numbering will jump back into just plain X-Men, and then it'll do some other things after that. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But while it was New X-Men, it had an annual which they decided to do sideways. So that's what you have here. And that is all for this box.
Okay, so that was box 115. Next time we'll do 116. We will finish up on new stuff. We've got the next series of New X-Men, and we've got some Nick Fury, and then we'll get into Night things. We'll get into Night Force, Night Hawk, Night Man, Nightmare, Night Thrasher, and we will start our way into Nightwing. So it's going to be a good time. Hope you'll be here next time. Thanks for being here this time. And hey, have a great day.